Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of Southern Woods and Waters. I want to welcome you all to the show tonight. I hope you're sitting around the house good and warm. I know it's getting pretty cold outside. We've got a really good show for you tonight, and it's one that we're really passionate about, and we have looked forward to sharing this now for quite a while. As you drive up and down our highways, but as outdoorsmen, especially our waterways, you can't help but look around and notice that there's a pretty major problem with trash around our waterways. And tonight we're going to be talking about not only some ways that you can get involved to help with that, but a lot of programs and things that we're going to be getting started up in the future that we're going to be starting to combat this issue pretty hard. So really looking forward to this one tonight. We're going to be taking you down to Normandy Lake to a cleanup effort down there, as well as putting in some new fish habitat. So if you pay attention, you might learn a new spot to fish tonight. But I'll go ahead and back out. I'll introduce my guests. Of course, I got my buddy Dayton with me tonight, as always. And Dayton, this subject for you, this one's near to your heart.
Yeah,
right
I mean,
here,
I've been fishing since I've been alive, all these lakes.
Yeah, it is.
And you see it escalate so bad.
To get this started,
Absolutely.
though, is my point.
Jake's getting it fired up good. These guys here are fixing to take off with it.
We got Jake Davis here with us tonight. Y'all all know who he is. He is with Tennessee Bass Nation, among many other organizations.
And, change my hat.
Yeah, I started to say change your hat. And then on the end, we have Mr. Mike Butler. And Mike is the CEO of the Tennessee Wildlife Federation. So we're looking forward tonight to not only talking about some of the issues that we have out there, but some of the things that we are going to start helping with in the future, and you guys can help with to start combating it. But first things first, let's head down to Normandy Lake, and in this first segment, we're going to be sharing with you guys some habitat restoration, putting in some new fish bed areas, and like I say, pay attention. You might find a landmark or two that teaches you a new spot. Guys, I want to welcome y'all out here. We're on Normandy Lake, and we're down here at Barton Springs access area. And what we're doing is we're putting habitats. You guys have been out here. When we pulled up, it was chainsaws and guys running everywhere, and Bricko blocks and string flying. But tell me just a little bit about, first of all, what these are stacked on the boat. Each one of them has been worked on. It's not just a bunch of trees stacked in here. Yep. So tell me what it is that you were doing.
Well, you know, every year we do Christmas for Fishes across the entire state. And today what we did was we took 12-inch cinder block and we've tied Christmas trees, 4 Christmas trees to each one of them. We've got about 400 Christmas trees out today. Last 2 loads are sitting behind us, you know, and we bring all the kids down. Jess with the TWRA, he's the lake manager down here, and he comes out as a biologist to help place and, you know, give some instruction to the kids, why we're doing this type of thing. it what it helps and why you place them in certain areas. You don't just take them out here and dump them in 50 foot of water.
Yeah.
And we try and, that way we make sure we're not getting them in where people are going to water ski or, all that good stuff. It's going to help the lake. And that's a big part of what we're doing. And, Philip with Coffee County Youth Bass Club, and then we've got some kids here from Franklin County Bass Club and Tullahoma Youth Bass Club.
Yeah.
They all come out and help.
Yeah.
And, basically by us doing this, it teaches the kids, to keep the lake
back
up
in,
and,
not just take out, but give back. But they do. They were all out here working their tails off, and we pulled up the parking lot.
And we're going to go out and we're going to do a lake cleanup too. But it's all, it's to give back a little bit. And I know a lot of people, well, there's enough stuff in the lake, but I'm going to tell you, I looked at all the studies, and there's a couple of them out there that were done by people that are a lot smarter than myself and you and Jess. They're the professors from University of Mississippi and UT and Tennessee Tech that done a lot of studies, and people don't realize our reservoirs, our highland reservoirs like this one in Tennessee, the structure in them, the stumps and stuff is gone. There's nothing there left. So we've got to do stuff like this to keep the health of the lake
And
up.
you're adding the right type of habitat. You're not, we already had the show once discussing about the tires and things we used to do. Years ago we did different things, but you're putting the right kind of habitat in, and you're taking, like you explained today, all these Christmas trees that normally would just end up piled up in some field somewhere or burned, and you're putting them to use. But now, tell me this, Jesse, are there any particular species that, are these for any particular species, or are all fish going to use these trees?
All fish are going to use them, really, but we find bass. We put an underwater camera down there occasionally to check them out and see how well they do, and we see all kinds of fish, from bluegill to largemouth to smallmouth even, and crappie. They love them. So algae will grow on top of them, and they'll help to feed the fish. And
starts the whole process from the bait all the way out. So they're very beneficial to everything. So what we're fixing to do, we're fixing to load up and take these out to some, are we going to top secret locations, Jake, or are we going to?
We're going to go to a couple predetermined spots that Jess and I have come up with. They've had the main spot we're going to dump ours in is been a fish attractor site for years, but it needs to be replenished because it doesn't last forever.
Right, it doesn't. It eventually breaks up.
You get a Christmas tree, if it stays in the water, it's about 5 years. So we're going to go out and we're going to replenish that area, that one site with everything that's on that boat. And Jess is going to take the other boat and go around the Indian Island over here and drop them there on some predetermined sites. And folks, all of these spots, whether it's Tim's Ford, Priest, no matter where, you can go to the TWRA website and get all of the GPS coordinates, and it'll put you within about 30 feet of, if not right on top of it, but within about 30 feet of where these fish attractors are, so that you can enjoy them and fish them. So
I love that they keep that information out there.
We just put about 450 out at Tim's Ford State Park. Just the other day, Jess come out and we did a big deal there.
Yeah, this is a multiple lakes deal. I mean, we just happened to be at Normandy today, but we had one of these planned actually at Percy Priest a few weeks ago and had to cancel it. And then we were going to be at Tim's Ford and we had to cancel it. So, but that's just how it works sometimes. But this is something that you guys put effort into all of these lakes in Middle Tennessee, and we want every one of you that's watching to get involved in this stuff. Get over and get involved not only in the habitat restoration, but also in the cleanups, which we're going to talk more about later on today as well. So lots of things you can do to help preserve these lakes and our waterways and do our part. So, well, guys, let's get on out on the water and go find out where we're going to be putting these locators out. right, guys, it's time to go over and do this week's wild game forecast. It's being brought to you by our friends over at Wilson Bank and Trust. They've been serving your banking and financial needs now for over 30 years. Y'all can find them at one of 29 Middle Tennessee locations. Be sure to stop in and tell them thank you for everything they do for us here at the show. All right, well, as some of you know, the forecast it's fixing to get kind of wild, isn't it, guys?
It's going to get ugly.
It's going to get ugly. It's going to get really cold. Got snow coming in. I mean, it was 70 the other day.
Welcome to Tennessee.
Snow's coming, but Dayton, you and I have both noticed at least on the crappie end of the deal for sure. It's like these last couple of days they just stopped.
It's slowing down.
And what's going on? Is it these fronts pushing through, and it's just kind of got them.
Everybody's pulling the lakes too. We had a lot of rain, had the lakes back up, and all them fish go in the creeks when that water's rolling chocolate milk like that.
Yep.
So when it finally settles down a little bit, they still do their thing, but as they gradually pull these lakes back down, they pull the cool water out, and plus these fronts coming in, they just don't feed as well.
That's right. They're still around. They're just not where we've been catching them.
That's right. They're still within their areas. They're out there. It's just they're not feeding.
Jake, what's going on with bass fishing right now? What do you think they're going to be doing this week?
They've been up shallow, especially when it got warm last week, and I missed a lot of it being over to the Classic. But I'm going to tell you, the guys down on Timms and Center Hill and up here on Old Hickory and Priest have been hammering them.
There's been some good bass coming in these local tournaments.
That old cliche, everybody's like, well, they're still out a little deeper. No, you're missing the boat the last couple of days. They ran to that bank.
You are, and I think it's going to warm up again next week. I don't know if y'all have seen it, but extended forecast, it's just going to start getting a little bit warmer as it moves through the week.
It sort of figures we got a club tournament, for the old guy club. Down on Tim's Ford, we got tournament Sunday, and it's going to be 16.
Right.
I got news for him. I'm sitting in the truck until about 9 o'clock.
I don't blame you. Well, guys, we want to remind you to follow us on Facebook as well. Keep up with us. We'll let you know what we've got going on during the week and on the weekends as well. And it's a great way for y'all to share your stories and pictures with us. So you can also check us out at swwtv.com. You find all of our past episodes there and links to all of our sponsors. We're going to get ready to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with this week's Pictures of the Week and some more Southern Woods and Waters.